All right, live. Here we go. Thanks for waiting. Oh, Dan Wanamaker, having a beer, drinking out the last 7 minutes of 2020. Where are you? Where you are? I would love to know where that is, and also why. I mean, that's not a fair question. I was going to say, why are you spending it with me? But it's 2020. Cheers. So I'm in Australia, and it's New Year's morning. So it's actually it's actually 5 p.m., but it feels like morning, if you know what I mean. I'm very much in the morning after hangover stage. And let me tell you, I'm in the future. I'm in the future. It's not that much better yet. Really feels about the same. Quick audio check. This is my first ever live stream, so quick audio check. Let me know if it sounds okay. I can crank up the volume on this microphone a little bit. Yeah. Oh, Wisconsin, very cool. What am I gonna do? Go out somewhere? Yeah, no. As I said it, I knew what I was saying. I'm like, yeah. That's not fair to say. There's nowhere to go. It's lockdown. We were lucky in Melbourne. We did a big lockdown a few months ago. We managed to get cases down to zero, and now we were able to have a little New Year's thing. So I went to a friend's place for a New Year's party. You know, had a beer or two. We played a little bit of live music. It was a good time. So it did feel good to be able to do something on New Year's. And then, of course, I got KFC at 10:30 this morning. So I've got a bit of work ahead of me. Dan, I don't know if you're a Hemingway List subscriber or a Year of War and Peace subscriber, but the point of this stream is mainly I'm going to be working on this huge task of translating War and Peace. So I figured might as well go online. I'm going to be doing it for hours every day. So might as well broadcast it. Get some help. Get some tips. I don't know. Talk books. Whatever. It's my first time on doing this, but I do intend to sort of get better at it and be able to incorporate people better. I know if I can get Discord going, I'll be able to have people just kind of drop in and chat through the stream. So rather than you having to type, if you wanted to, you'd be able to bring your voice through. Stuff like that. I don't know. Have segments, have games, have stuff. But there we go. For now, you know what else feels weird actually is that every stream I've watched, and I don't watch a lot of streams, but I watch a bit, there's always music playing in the background for a bit of atmosphere. But just recently there's been this huge crackdown on having music playing in your stream. So I can't. I've just got to have silent, a little bit of atmosphere. You are? Yeah, you are. So you're a Hemingway Hemingway listener, and now you're doing a Year of War and Peace. Here's two questions. Have you read War and Peace yet? And have you read the first chapter, today's chapter? All right. So this is going to be the way this works. Like this. There we go. I'm up to book 2, chapter 3. And I'm going to be working on this today. Let me just rearrange my windows here. Oh, and this is how I do it. Just a line by line thing, you know. First I just want to have a quick glimpse at how long chapter 3 is. That's always how I start. Oh god, it just keeps going. It's long. Alright, this could take, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours. And I'm going to dive in. Just need to rearrange my microphone for a second. All right. You read War and Peace in 2019, the year after I did the podcast. Oh, okay. And then spun off into Hemingway list, I suppose. And you're going in again. It is a book you can read more than once, I think. It's got a lot of rereadability. All right, let's get started on this very, very stupid project. What do you reckon? If I do that, yeah, cool. Chapter 3. On returning from the review, Kutuzov took the Austrian general into his private room. So one thing I've been doing is, and you won't know this yet, but since Kutuzov's been introduced into the book, I decided to start calling him Big Dog, the Big Dog, Big Dog Kutuzov. And so a lot of the verbs related to him, I've gone with like a kind of canine verb. So like when he, I have to go back up to chapter 2 and show you this. See, this whole project is because it makes my stupid brain giggle. It makes me giggle. I know it's dumb and silly, but I just love dumb and silly. That's kind of my zone. Okay, Big Dog. Where we going here? Anyway, in this chapter, it's the chapter where Kutuzov inspects. I'm just going to go back down to where I'm up to. It's the chapter where he inspects the troops, and I think I referred to it as like giving him a sniff out and doing a deep sniff on him, Big Dog. I've been on board since the American. Ah, yeah, what the American? Crap. That's when he goes to Paris. Yeah, that was okay, the American. Yeah, it felt a little clumsily written, I thought, the American, in some parts. Was that the one where it just kept being like at the Louvre? Like every chapter they were at the Louvre? Or like just some kind of massive landmark of whatever country or city they were in. So hang on, wait a minute. Hey, Happy New Year! I think we've been chatting for seven minutes. What a tone to bring in your new year, just chit-chatting about literature. It's not exactly fireworks. It's not exactly like some kind of hype music, but that's about the tone that's about my tone. That's about my speed. You can keep your fireworks. I'm happy to just sit and chill. Hey, cheers. Here's to a better year, hey? Say good day if you're viewing. It's hard to know how many viewers I've got because some places say 2 and some places say more. Doesn't matter. All right, Happy New Year. Let's get started. On returning from the review. What was the review meaning his inspection of the troops. Kutuzov took the Austrian general into his private room and, calling his adjutant, asked for some papers relating to the condition of the troops on their arrivals and the letters that had come from the Archduke Ferdinand, who was in command of the advanced army. Right, okay, that's a big sentence. Tolstoy and your long sentences. Someone is setting off fireworks outside now, so it's basically the same thing. Very cool. Should we sing Old Lang Syne or something like that? We watched the ball drop. Oh yeah, the early one. For the kiddies, right? For the kids. Can't be keeping up kids till midnight. Okay, so here we go. I should actually start. When he got back from reviewing the troops, Big Dog Kutuzov took the Austrian general into his private room and, calling his adjutant, and here's where I pause to think of a more Aussie word, and then calling. I called out to him. I gave him a hooroo. Oi, oi, adjutant. Oi, where's me bloody adjutant? Adjutant. Hollering. It's not really Aussie, but it's kind of hollering for his adjutant. Asked for some papers relating to the condition. Sometimes I feel like, I know that this is kind of moving away from Tolstoy's whole thing, but sometimes I really feel like breaking up these long sentences into parts. Like this. When he got back from reviewing the troops, Big Dog Kutuzov took the Austrian general into his private room and hollered for his adjutant. He asked for some papers relating to the... Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe should I? See, now, here we come with the questions of, like, authenticity, of, like, how... It's a very trademark thing that he does his long run-on sentences. So to break them up is moving... It's a departure from his style. But then again, this whole thing is a bit of a departure. I've got a little bit of wiggle room here. I don't want anything to be missing from this book. I want you to be able to read my version and still say, I've read War and Peace. But to what extent do I take that? Is breaking up a sentence into multiple sentences, you know, I don't want to be too precious about it. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. This is the Andrew Lewis translation. And hollered... How do you spell hollered? Like that? Nope. Hollered for his adjutant. He asked him for a semicolon. Whew. I like where your head's at. So controversial. It's still the same sentence then, technically, yeah. So how would that go? And hollered for his adjutant. Then like a semicolon there. He asked him for some papers relating to the condition of the troops on their arrival. Some bits of some sentences I kind of just leave as it is because it's plain enough, and it's kind of how an Aussie would say it. And the beauty of doing it this way is I'm not translating it from Russian because I don't speak Russian. So to say translating is a bit of a stretch, but it's because this version that I'm using, the Maud version, is in the public domain. I can grab little bits and pieces, and it's not copyrighted. So to have little snippets of that original in there, I think that's fair enough. I do want to change as much as possible, but sometimes it's just kind of like, I'd just be rewording that for no real point, wouldn't I? Hey, that's a clever loophole. Hey, we're all about clever loopholes. Hey, Happy New Year too. Al? I can't see your username. I don't know if it's because of the software that I'm using. Let me see if I look under. Yeah, I think that's just what your username is. Hi Al, or possibly capital I. I'm not sure which one it is. And Happy New Year. Thanks for hanging out. Where was I? Okay, so what was I saying? He asked for some papers relating to the condition of the troops on their arrival, and the letters that had come from the Archduke Ferdinand, and the letters that the Archduke... Hey, feel free to point out typos if I make them. Letters that the Archduke Ferdinand had sent. He was the bloke in command of the advanced army. So we call it is a higher in register, and that bogan is maybe lower. It could be an undesirable mixing of style. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. There are kind of levels of bogan. I think it's often kind of said that a bogan is kind of like a trailer trash of like equivalent, or if it's British, like a chav. And that's kind of true, but then there's a whole spectrum of bogan. Bogan just means like overly Aussie, and they were really kind of smart, educated, accomplished people who are massive bogans. Like there could be like a professor of, business or something who's a massive bogan. So it's there is wiggle room. You could have a smart bogan. And in the same way as you could have a smart trailer trash person, I suppose. But I think it's kind of like, it's not really a class thing so much with bogan. You can have, there's even a show called Upper Middle Class Bogan or something like that. And there's a phrase here, CUB, C-U-B, which stands for cashed up bogan. So like a rich bogan. So they'd have their jet skis and all that kind of stuff. Happy New Year. Cheers to you. It's actually 5 p.m. on New Year's Day here in Australia, so I'm a bit in the future. So I'm more in the New Year's Day hangover kind of phase, hence the dim room and cup of coffee. Okay. This is a slow progress. This could take a while. It's because I keep chatting so much. Okay, let's continue. Archduke Ferdinand was in Prince Andrew Bolkonsky. Hey, is this our first intro to Prince Andrew Bolkonsky? Bolkonsky? That's Kutuzov's adjutant, I think. Is adjutant synonymous with aide de camp? I think it is. Because I thought Bolkonsky was his aide de camp. I could be wrong there. Came into the room with the papers he wanted. Kutuzov and the Austrian member of the Hofkriegsrath. What the hell? What am I even writing? We're sitting... Oh man, this is not very translated at all. I'm basically just retyping it. I think part of it is also being distracted. The whole first book I did of this, obviously I wasn't live streaming, so now I'm distracted by the fact that I've got this whole other thing happening. Okay, so here, let's think about this. Kutuzov and the Austrian member of the Hofkriegsrath were sitting at the table on which the plan was spread out. Sitting at the table with the plan spread out before them. Alright, that's something. Why is that like that? Ignore. Said Kutuzov. Glancing at Bolkonsky as if by this exclamation he was asking the adjutant to wait, and he went on with the conversation in French. As if to say to Bolkonsky. Hold your horses a sec. To say to his adjutant, Bolkonsky, hold your horses a sec. Station in French. I can't spell. Hold your horses a sec, and then going on with the conversation in French. All I can say, General, said he with a pleasant elegance of expression and intonation that obliged one to listen to each deliberately spoken word. So this is Bolkonsky speaking. All I can say, General. All I know, General, said he, with a oh wait, no, that's Kutuzov speaking. I just saw that, okay. Ah, yeah, he's speaking French. With an elegance, I suppose. Pleasant. Yes, that. Oh, my phone's ringing. Pleasantness, that. Oh God, I've got this all wrong. And pleasant expression. God, not happy with this. Sometimes it takes a few attempts. He was talking so. Sometimes, if all else fails, I just write it as if it was written by a little kid. Said he, with a pleasant and elegant demeanour that made you want to listen to him real hard because he was talking so nicely. Yeah, that'll work. It was clear that the big dog himself loved the sound of his own voice. It was evident that Kutuzov himself listened with pleasure to his own voice. It was clear that the big dog himself loved the sound of his own voice. Oh yeah. Maybe, you know what? I'm going to change all I know to this. What I reckon, General. And then, what I reckon, General, is that if the matter depended on if it was up to me, if the matter depended on my personal wishes, the will of His Majesty, the Emperor Francis, would have been fulfilled long ago. His Majesty, the Emperor Francis, would have got his way ages ago. I should long ago have joined the Archduke. Well, why didn't you? I should long ago have joined the Archduke. And believe me, on my honour, that to me personally it would be a pleasure to hand over the supreme command of the army into the hands of a better informed and more skillful general, of whom Austria has so many, and to lay down all his heavy responsibility. But circumstances are sometimes too strong for us, General. I don't really even know what he's saying here, but I'm just going to try to go line for line. I would have joined him, the Archduke, ages back. And believe me, on my word, that to me personally it would be a pleasure. I would have loved to hand over the supreme command of the army into the hands of a smarter and better, I'll go with better informed and niftier general. Niftier. What's wrong with me? Austria has a lot of those. And to lay down all this heavy responsibility, and lay down all this heavy responsibility, and to lay down all this heavy responsibility. And to brain blank. Okay, while I think about this, I'm going to give this a try. Be right back. Stop a second, wait up, hold on, hang on, hold the phone. We've got to stop the broadcast so I can tell you about the fact that, did you know this, that, also, this is already available. Book 1 is good, and you can get it on Amazon. Book 1 of the War and Peace Aussie version, paperback thing. Amazon. What am I trying to say? Kindle also. Links below. Great advertising. Back to the broadcast. What a great ad. I'm still thinking though. Still thinking. Okay, then while I think, I'll do this as well. Whoa, stop the broadcast. I've just got to say something really important to you guys, and it's this. Oh, hold on. Whoa, hold the phone. Who the hell is this guy here? If you want to be this awesome, you can click the donation button down there and leave a little tip. Leave a little tip. Yeah, you want to do this, press the button, and I love it. So thanks. Anyway, I can't remember what I was going to say before that interruption, so I guess back to the broadcast? Question mark? Yeah, that's good. That's better. Austria, okay, let's just give it a shot. I would have joined the Archduke ages back, and believe me, on my word, that I would have loved to hand over the supreme command of the army into the hands of a better informed and niftier general. Austria has a lot of those, and to piss all this bloody responsibility off. That'll do. But circumstances are sometimes too strong for us, General. Hey, General. We deal... What do you say? What? Gotta play the cards that are dealt us. And Kutuzov smiled in a way that seemed to say, I don't like that. It's too different. Sometimes circumstances are out of our control. That's better. And Kutuzov smiled in a way. He smiled in a way. That seemed to say, you are quite at liberty not to believe me, and I don't even care whether you do or not, but you have no grounds for telling me so. And that is the whole point. You know, I might make this slightly bigger. That's what I might do. How's that go? Oh yeah, now they line up a bit better. That's good. Although, where was I up to? There. Okay. And Kutuzov. Heading to bed. Yeah, all good, man. I'm just going to keep working away at this. Happy New Year. Thanks for checking out my first stream. It's quite slow. I feel like this is the kind of stream that you would have on while you had other better things to do. But that's, I suppose, the case with most streams. It's kind of background noise. You're in the background while I'm doing my work. I'm in the background while you're doing your thing, I suppose. Is that how it goes? Kuzov gave a little smile. That seemed to say, you are quite at liberty not to believe me. Believe me. Don't believe me. I don't care. Just keep it to yourself. That's my whole point. That's what his little smile seemed to say. Have you ever given one of them little smiles? I know I haven't. Cheers, Dan. Happy New Year. Firecracker or something. God, when I think of the slow progress of this, how far through the chapter am I? Like 1/10. And in that chapter is one part of 365 chapters. This is quite a crazy project that I'm working on. But hey, who cares? Let's do it. What else have we got to do, you know? Okay, so he's giving his little smile. That's the whole point. Yep, cool, very good. And the Austrian general looked dissatisfied, but had no option but to reply in the same tone. General didn't seem rapt with that, but had no choice to reply in the same tone. On the contrary, he said, in a querulous and angry tone. Wait, I thought he was replying in the same tone. Doesn't sound like the same tone. Oh. Querulous and angry on the contrary, he said, in a querulous and angry tone, in a pissy and bitter tone, that contrasted with his flattering words. On the contrary, Your Excellency's participation in the common action is highly valued by His Majesty. But we think the present delay is depriving the splendid Russian troops and their commander of the laurels they have been accustomed to win in their battles. He concluded with evidently prearranged sentence. Laurels. Laurels. Okay, so what are we saying here? On the contrary, Your Excellency's participation in... I need to look up laurels, I guess. Laurels meaning shrubs. An award or praise. Okay. So the praise. Laurels. Laurel. So it's a praise. Okay, so what are we saying? On the contrary, Your Excellency's participation in the common action is highly valued by His Majesty, but we think the present delay is depriving the Russian troops and their commander of the praise they have been accustomed to win in their battles. Okay. Your Excellency's participation in the common action is highly valued by His Majesty, but we think the present delay is depriving the splendid Russian troops, their commander, of the praises they are used to being. He concluded the sentence had a very pre-thought out feel about it. Pre-thought out feel about it. Kutuzov bowed with the same smile. Kutuzov bowed with the same smile. You know, I know, with this book, I know what's being spoken about. I know what's happening. But when you go down to the line by line, word by word analysis like this, there are bits, like in that previous paragraph, where it's like, I don't know exactly what that sentence means. And that's why in some bits I just kind of keep the original to be like, oh, I'm not 100% sure on rewording that I'll get it right. And so if that's the case, I keep it mostly the same, and I'll maybe change little bits of the sentence but keep the sort of sentence structure intact, if that makes sense. But that is my conviction, and judging by the last letter. Anyway, that's what I reckon. And judging by that last letter, which is Highness the Archduke in and has honoured me, that the Austrian I imagine the Austrian Jews have already won their battle and don't need our help, given that their leader, General Mack, is so skillful and all. Said Kutuzov. I'm really kind of anal about this. I love it when the lines match up as much as possible from one side of the screen to the other. Okay. The general frowned. There's a lot of facial expressions going on during this conversation. You kind of notice these things. You know what? Here's one thing where, would it hurt? I suppose no. I was going to say to add in the name General, but I'm just going to use the same wording. Gave a frown. Oh. Though there was no definite news of an Austrian defeat, there were many circumstances confirming the unfavourable rumours that were afloat. Oh, this is for the first chapter that we're doing on live stream. It's such a dry chapter. I've been thinking a lot about the chapters that I can't wait to do, and there's some really good chapters, and including most of the ones I've already done. But then this one is just two characters talking about sort of military tactics or military politics, and it's very difficult to make it a fun chapter when it's such a dry chapter of the book. Though there was no definite news of an Austrian defeat, there was though there was no news that confirmed an Austrian defeat, there were many true seeming unfavourable rumours going around. Which made Kutuzov's suggestion of an ironic. Art. Kutuzov. Continued. Smiling blandly. With the same look on his face. Which seemed the last letter he had received from Mac's army informed him of a victory and stated strategically that the position of the army was very favourable. The last letter he had received from Mac's army. The last letter he had received from Mac's army. Status strategically. Give me that letter. Check the letter here a sec. So, Kutuzov. And Kutuzov with an ironical smile about on the corners of his mouth. Read to the Austrian general the following passage in German from the Archduke Ferdinand's letter. Alright. Oh man, this is going to be impossible to do. First of all, I think it should be in italics because it's a letter. We have fully concentrated forces of probably like 70,000-ish men with which we can hack, beat up should he cross the lake. Also, as we are masters of we can't be deprived of the advantage commanding both sides of the Danube. I can't lose the advantage of commanding both sides of the Danube. So if the baddies don't cross the Lech, we can cross the Danube, chuck ourselves on his line of communications, come back as the river lower down, straight his intention should be, and throw a spanner in the works for him. If he tries to direct his whole force against our faithful ally. I am getting messages. Alright, what's he saying? What's happening here? What's the thing? Faithful ally, we shall therefore confidently. So then, we'll confidently await the moment when the Imperial Russian army will be fully equipped in conjunct with it. We will easily find a way to prepare. A way to dish up to the enemy the fate he deserves. Donk. Alright, there we go. Kutuzov sighed deeply. Kutuzov sighed deeply on finishing this paragraph and looked at the member of the Hofgriffsgraf mildly and attentively. Finished reading the paragraph and gave a deep sigh. Then looked at the member of the Hofgriffsgraf mildly and attentively. What the hell does even that mean? I don't even know what that means. Mildly and attentively. Gave the member of Hofgriffsgraf a dear kind of that kind. No, it's not a capital. It's not a new sentence. Have a look. Maybe I should do this. Wait, no, single one. What do you reckon of that? Kind of look. Yeah, that's better. That's a mild and attentive look. What do you reckon of that kind of look? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Cool. Here's an ad. Stop a second, wait up, hold on, hang on, hold the phone. We've got to stop the broadcast so I can tell you about the fact that, did you know this, that, also, this is already available. Book 1 is good, and you can get it on Amazon. Book 1 of the War and Peace Aussie version paperback thing. Amazon. What am I trying to say? Kindle also. Links below. Great advertising. Back to the broadcast. We're back. Okay. But you know the wise maxim, Your Excellency, advising one to expect the worst becomes, what is it they say, Your Excellency, about how you should expect the worst? Said the Austrian general, evidently wishing to stop taking the piss and get serious. He involuntarily looked around at the aide-de-camp. The aide-de-camp being Andrew Bolkonsky, if I'm not, yeah. He gave a, what's that, involuntary glance at the aide-de-camp. N. Or next. It keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. Excuse me, General. Interrupt. And all the reports. From our scouts of Kozlovsky. Nostitz. Classic. Nostitz. Here are 2 letters from Count Nostitz. And here is one from His Highness and Archduke. Prince Andrew. Though not much had changed. No, though not much time had passed since Prince Andrew had left Russia, he had hadn't been long since Andrew left Russia. But he changed heaps since. His facial expressions, his movements, his walk, showed hardly a trace of the languor and indolence. Languor and indolence. Languor. Languor. Tiredness. Stillness. Indolence. So those both just mean lazy. Chillaxed. Languor and indolence. You now look like a man who has time to think of the impression he makes on others. His face expressed more satisfaction with himself and those around him. I don't think chillaxed is quite the word. Lethargic. Promise not to forget him. Distinguished him above the other hints. Taken him not to forget him. Taken him Stop a second, wait up, hold on, hang on, hold the phone. We've got to stop the broadcast so I can tell you about the fact that, did you know this, that, also, this is already available. Book 1 is good, and you can get it on Amazon. Book 1 of the War and Peace Aussie version, paperback thing. Amazon. What am I trying to say? Kindle also. Links below. Great advertising. Back to the broadcast. strange about Andrew, Prince Andrew. He's a good character. He's such a proud military man for the Russians, but his military hero is Bonaparte, the leader of the French army, who is the enemy. And I love that. I love that his hero is actually the leader of the opposing army. Oh, bless me. Finished. 2 hours 24. What an effort. Alright. End stream. Don't know if I need to say that as there is no one watching. It's